Hey, good morning. What's happening with you guys? Happy Monday. This is another week. Um, it's your boy. It's Terry. It's just been a while. That's just the last time I hosted this show, one on one. But I'm gonna find my arrow here so I can get some stuff off the screen. There we go. Okay. So happy Monday. Welcome into the broadcast. This is the Brothers of Legacy. Right now, rolling solo in the absence of Mr. AD. Mr. AD is having, let's pray for AD. He's got some pain in his back, and we're going to pray for that. So he may or may not be in this morning, but I am here. So if you are here, go ahead and share the broadcast out to your friends, your family. Hey, Lisa, good morning to you. I got a pretty good topic. Well, AD gave me a pretty good topic to talk about this morning. So hopefully you'll stick around and we can talk about it a little bit, get some interaction from the group. I'm gonna roll my beautiful beam footage here. What's up, JBTL? I mean MLP. What's up, man? Good morning to you. Glad you came through. All right, so bear with me just a moment. Be right back.
I didn't want to catch that.
Morning. Good morning.
Welcome to another edition of Good morning, everybody.
All right, I am back. What's going on? The Brothers of Legacy back in the building. Happy Monday. I'm trying to share it. That's what I was trying to do before, and I got a text before I can share it. I got my man Cole in the building. I'm going to bring Cole on. So we got a really good topic this morning. Okay, so we're talking this topic. What's up, Cole? Good morning to you, brother. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing good, man. Good morning to you too, Terry.
Hey, man. It's been a weekend. Bro.
Who's texting me?
I hate that. God. Don't mind Peter. Let me put it back on vibrate. We've got a good We got a good topic this morning. We're talking about. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay. But this topic today, I believe, was what's the word I'm looking for here? What's up, Dwayne? All right, sponsored by a post that was on Facebook. I'm not going to name the person that wrote the post, but this is the post that she wrote, and she said that Christians are the best at free publicity. Okay, that's a little backdrop. Just hit a post. Christians are the best at free publicity. If you really wanted to kill the buzz on this shoe and video, you will stop talking about it. The more you post regarding it, the more you're helping it trend and making it known. Some of you may delete me after this, but somebody has to say it. Stop being sheeple. Now, what she is referring to, you guys, is that there's a couple of stories that went down this weekend, and a lot of people are very, very upset about it. So, first thing we're going to talk about is we're not really going to talk about it, but we're just going to, in the context of this topic, if I can find it, we're going to be all right around here. Let's see. I just put us to doing. I'm coming. Hold on. There he is. All right. So the first thing that we're going to see, I'm going to show you, is those. Cole, you familiar with those? Have you heard about them?
I have.
Okay. Now, so those of you who are watching this and looking at this shoe and going, those are like Air Max 97s. Okay. And they are Air Max 97.
Yes, they are.
But the reason why this is a story is because Lil Nas X decided to come out with a Satan shoe. And in this shoe, you guys, in the sole of the shoe, it's I think it's 60 cc's of red ink and 1 drop of human blood in the soles. So Lil Nas X, that was a story that tore up the internet. The internet is just a buzz about this. It has pissed off a lot of Christians, have pissed off just about everybody, in this releasing of this shoe. And they're only making 666 pair of these shoes, and they're going at $1,018 a pair. Now, all of this, and all of this, We'll get to that. So we got Lil Nas X in this particular story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got this one. Now, last week, this was a buzz because Mr. Jackson, did a video with his wife, and after he got caught up in this, these extramarital affairs, and all of a sudden, he got a book. Okay, we all gonna get that. I'm gonna get to the point in just a second, but I just want to give you guys some backdrop. He's got a book. Lil Nas X has a shoe that's, purportedly tearing the internet up. And then we have these two gentlemen. Well, one of them, Mr. Franklin, and his son, who recorded him the other week, giving him the business over the phone. This young man has a media company that he needed some, I guess, views on, I suppose, and did this to his father to get that. Now, what do these three things have in common? Cole, what do you think things have in common? These three things have one thing in common, is that they are profiting off off of us talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that was the post of this young lady that posted yesterday, that we give folks. Thank you, Dwayne, and Pastor McCrory's in the building. What's up? Good morning, you guys. Glad you're here.
Morning.
So, as Christians, we give them free publicity, right? My question, or the question that Adrian brought to me this morning.
As Christians, we do what?
Huh? We are the best at free publicity. So, at the top of the show, you guys just missed it. There are three stories that I kind of talking about. One is Lil Nas X. If you guys remember Lil Nas X, he was the one that lured your kid in by singing. What's it? How did the song go?
Old Town Road.
I'm gonna take you down to Old Town Road.
Yeah.
No
So he drug your kids in, with
mine
that song. I know, right? And so he has been firing back on Twitter all weekend, right? So let me show you what Pastor Brian and Dwayne, you guys came out. I don't know if you guys saw
I
it.
saw it. I seen.
Oh, Dwayne saw it. Okay. So Pastor Brian, this is the newest addition to Lil Nas X's legacy, other than Old Town Road. Watch this. Okay, see those?
SADT. Sad.
So
his versions of Red Bottoms.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to get jokes off so bad.
No, and I mean that in a serious sense too. But
I know. But that's it. So that's his story. This is what he has contributed to society as of this week. The Satan shoe, and so that's
the Satan shoe.
The Satan shoe. That's
Yes, the Satan shoe.
They call it the Satan shoe.
It is called the Satan shoe. Yes, Pastor.
It has a pentagram on the
Pentagram,
put that
yeah.
picture
I
back
saw
up.
the pentagram.
Yeah, it's a pentagram on the tongue, and in the sole, it is 60 cc's of red ink and 1 drop of human blood in the sole.
And Terry just said that they're only going to sell 666 of them.
666 pair. At
But we
$1,000.
finna be some different Christians today because y'all got the wrong ones. That we trying to hype any of that mess up. I'm just not jumping into anything until Terry jump in. But yeah, I'm on a pastor's look. Pastor, you ain't have to say it this morning. They're gonna be a whole lot of miss me with a whole lot of comments right now.
Right.
I'm gonna wait. I'll wait.
So that's Lil Nas X, and then of course, Mr. Derek Jackson from last week. All this stuff he went through, and he comes out.
Told y'all,
right?
I told y'all.
with a book.
AD, I know you. If you watching, I told you it was on purpose. I told you it was a publicity.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today. And then you got Kirk and his son, who has a media company, who is tried to put Kirk on Front Street to make a name for himself. So the question is, if I can find it, with it. The question is, are we being manipulated by celebrity hype?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Are we being manipulated by celebrity hype? Because every time you hear something as silly as these things, we're dead on it, and everybody got an opinion, And but just like this young lady's post, I read a post, Pastor Brian, from a young lady on Facebook yesterday. I didn't give her name, but I just read a post, and her post said, Cole, hit it for me. Quote, Christians are the best at free publicity. If we all really wanted to kill the buzz on this shoe and the video, we would stop talking about it. The more you post regarding it, the more you're helping it trend and making it known. Some of you may delete me after this, but somebody has to say it. Stop being sheeple. Hashtag y'all dumb. Hashtag Lil Nas 1. Hashtag DJax 2. Hashtag and they got paid from your free publicity. Cole. Close quote. Boom. So are we being manipulated by celebrity hype? I want Dwayne to chime in on this one first, because Dwayne,
Yes, I do too.
He got closed lips, but he got some fire behind it. So Dwayne, what's up, man? What do you think?
First of all, what's new? That's what I'm gonna say first.
Say it again, man. Say it again.
What is new? Like, let's make something abundantly clear.
Abundance. Let's do it.
You don't have to, if it takes you to see horns before you say devil, you already lost. if it takes the Hollywood version of sacrificing and 666 and pentagrams before you can see devil, you already behind. Look, the reality of it is, if you're living a lifestyle that's comfortable with sin, not you sinning and you falling and you making mistakes, because I think most of us in some way, shape, or form can fall in that category.
Definitely.
Right.
But if you're comfortable in your poop and piss, then you've already missed the point. See, the reality of it is, Lil Nas X was selling Satan when he started making normal a homosexual lifestyle. From reports from people that, for instance, my neighbor went to high school with Lil Nas X. And he said there was nothing about Lil Nas X in high school that appeared to be gay. So once again, here we go. Call it what you want to call it. A gimmick, selling itself out, selling the soul out. If you're a liar, you in the same category as that shoe. If you cheating, you in the same category as that shoe. If you dishonest, you in the same category as that shoe. You don't have to put horns on something to make it a devil. Jesus made it abundantly clear. Either you mine or his.
Right.
And if you ain't his, then your daddy is the devil. So we don't have to make this extravagant.
Right.
Satanic doesn't necessarily mean Baphomet heads and everything else. Look, that's just something else on top of it, but that's not the reality. Derek Jackson, I called it. And look, a matter of fact, I didn't call it out on air because I didn't want to put it a Brothers of Legacy thing, but I'm gonna show you a correspondence between me and the homie, and that's AD, right?
You told him.
Can you read that? Can you zoom in on? Can you?
You got to back it up a little bit. Yeah. Nah, did he really do a reaction video to his own video in the third person, talking about him cheating on his wife?
And I said this was definitely on purpose.
Yeah.
And this is after we talked about it on air. That was the message I sent to him.
Right.
Look,
that was stupid.
It was for this reason. I told AD, I was like, yeah, all he needs is a stint on the Gale show. I was like, he's gonna try, because AD was like, yeah, all publicity is good publicity. I wondered too, because he seemed a little what was it? Unrepentant,
very
nonchalant,
rehearsed.
Yeah. He didn't just hold a quote unquote press conference to talk about this. He held a live video, which was a Q&A. And then the brother immediately started responding to everybody in the post who had a following.
Right.
He responded to the Shade Room questions. He responded to TMZ questions. What are you trying to do, my friend? Look, we've been manipulated since the beginning of time. Since that old serpent, that dragon, hey, it's okay. You gonna be like God. What you? Why you shouldn't eat this? I mean, people are manipulated. That's what happens. People are manipulated in relationships. The media manipulates people. Politicians manipulate people. Boyfriends and girlfriends manipulate people. Parents manipulate their children. It's a fact. But the reality of it is, the shoe that's again a play on the original red bottom of what it was supposed to intend. The intention for it supposedly anyway. If you do the history on it, it was about the baby blood in the red that created the shoe.
I think it's too much.
I think it's all too much. But Christians, like I said before, we have to not be reactionary to the world, because if we do, everything would be pointed out.
Okay.
Either you saved or you're not saved. If you're not saved, I don't expect you to be anything else until you know Jesus.
Yeah. Pastor Brian, what do you think? Are we manipulated by celebrity hype?
What's that, Dwayne?
I'm not.
No. But as a people, do you think we are?
I'm a people.
You want
I
the
can't,
word,
you know, I
want the
can't.
collective word.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, man, I don't have any energy towards that stuff, that shoe, Lil Nas X. You know, my feeling is that's entertainment, and I'm not entertained.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really simple. I don't, you know, that's not energy that I want to exert. That's not a topic that I want to exert, honestly, energy on. I feel like my feeling is you can look at it on the surface, or you can look at it on a deeper level. I don't know who Lil Nas X is. He doesn't represent me or my disposition. You know, I don't know what his faith is. I have no idea who that man is. I don't have a clue. I don't know his. I mean, I know the song you guys said. I've heard that song, but I don't look for the song. I've heard it, but I don't look for it. I don't know the song. But as far as the meaning and all that, I don't. To me, that's comedy. If we're going to talk about whether or not it really means something, I guess you have to find out who buys the shoe.
Yeah,
you know,
those 666 folks.
Yeah, I mean, because to me, all that is, commercialism. You know, I
agree with you, 100%.
Yeah. If you're gonna have a deeper conversation, my thing is, we find it's comical, but I pray for that young man.
Absolutely.
Right. If the body of Christ, I said this yesterday, if we don't take a more militant or aggressive stance against principalities and powers, against rulers of darkness, we won't lose by conquest. We'll lose by forfeit.
Yeah.
That's what I said yesterday.
Right,
we won't lose because the enemy has more power. We will lose because we failed to access the power that we have.
Yeah, we didn't insert it. Yeah.
Right. And so if we're, and so I would agree that I don't want to shine any light on that. I'm saying, we're here, we're being real, we're being raw, but I don't want to talk about Lil Nas X and a devil shoe.
It's retarded. But
what is that doing for me and my community?
Nothing.
How's it helping me be a better man talking about some dude who put a drop of blood in the shoe?
No.
I mean, I have a message that I want to present to the audience that I don't want to entertain that.
Yeah. So with that being said, moving on. Fame. But it's just, when it comes to those particular subjects with Kirk's son and Derek Jackson and all that good stuff, I mean, I feel like we are being manipulated every time we utter the word, every time we say something about it. But a lot of people have opinions, and they're upset about it. Derrick Jackson manipulated women for years, and now he did this, and then now he's got a book. But anyway, moving on. How was you guys this week, man? I missed you guys yesterday.
Well, mine was fine. It's funny that you mentioned that. I was in Clubhouse yesterday to sort of tie in what your question was, and one of the rooms stated, "quote Lil Nas X from riding a horse to riding Lucifer."
Just
close quote. And
crazy.
So my wife and I were listening to that type of stuff, and it was hilarious. Because I think what I draw from all of that type of stuff is, you have people who just simply want to stunt, and they want to draw attention. They want to have people talking. I sort of looked at Lil Nas X's stunt as like Madonna when she used to have her sexual stunts with every video that she did. I was like, oh, she's trying to draw attention. She doesn't have the voice. She barely has the music quality that's okay. Her business savvy is on point. Oh, but she wants to draw in more people because she wants to look like a hoe. I mean, that was sort of like how Lil Nas X is to me. So seeing all of that, and Pastor said it beautifully, I was thoroughly entertained by the sheer ignorance of what people consider entertainment this weekend. So it was wonderful. Unfortunately, we had to deal with a little bit of a weather issue because Nashville wanted to flood Saturday night, Sunday morning, but we got through it. We're fine, and it's all sunny, blue sky. Yeah, I can't be more blessed right now.
So that's what's up right there. I tell you what, and if you guys missed me yesterday, I think Pastor Brian kind of snuck in on TikTok yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
I was doing my Knucklehead Chronicles yesterday, and I was talking to my daughters, and we was talking a little bit about fatherhood, and my topic was, Daddy, where were you? That was a topic. And so that was a very deep conversation. It got so emotional for me that when I got off, I had to take a nap. That's how emotionally draining it was for me.
I'm surprised. He really did shed a tear. Like he didn't become a crybaby like I thought he was. I'm gonna shout him out. I thought he was gonna cry like a baby.
I did. I had my moment.
The glasses in the hat worked for him. He did this number here. I ain't got the hat on, but he did this number here so you couldn't see it.
Yeah. It was rough, man. It was rough. I was not on the show last week when you guys were talking about the Georgia. I saw the banner that AD put up about the Georgia's law. What's up, Ephraim? What's that about? That Georgia law, that new one they just put into? I've heard a little bit about it. I'm not versed on it, but what's the deal with that new law, the voter suppression? What is it about?
I mean, it's Jim Crow in a suit.
It's the best way of putting it.
Really?
It's another example of us having a lack of presence or influence in closed door sessions in the political realm. How do you, we said it last week, how do you call Georgia a blue state and the GOP was able to pass an increased voter suppression statute, multiple, right? And everything that they passed was literally to inconvenience people from voting, right? It's now a crime to give someone water while they're waiting in line to vote.
Come on, man. Don't do really.
The windows of operation for voting are from 9 to 5 when most people get off work at 5. You have to drop your own absentee ballot to the poll. You have to drop it at the box yourself. No one can drop it off for you. That's a crime. They move the drop boxes inside. So, and you only have access to them during voting hours, which means I now have to stand in line to just drop off my absentee ballot. So if I got to stand in the same line to drop off my ballot as I do to vote, I may as well vote in person.
Yeah.
So, I
That's
mean,
crazy.
what they have put in place makes zero sense. They're talking about, voter IDs. When people have folks don't even get driver's license, but I'm saying a specific demographic.
Right.
So, what do you do for that 89-year-old grandma who doesn't leave the house,
Hey V, good morning.
but is still registered to vote? You have to somehow pack her up and load her into a vehicle and somehow get her to the door for her to be able to drop off her own absentee ballot. So all they have done is restricted the voting access for people that they know, it's going to dramatically impact a specific demographic. So that's what they've done, right? But it's the same thing that they did after 2016 when Barack Obama won the election. A lot of people voted and they went to sleep because most people are under the misconception that the control of your community, of your state, begins in Washington. And the reality is it doesn't matter who's in DC.
Facts.
What matters is who you have as your local political representation. So if you don't participate in the local stuff, it doesn't matter who the president of the United States is.
Worse yet, they think all things political ends at Washington as well.
Yeah.
And I think what Georgians are now starting to grasp is something that I have lived with in Texas all of my life, which is there is a difference between a city being a Democratic stronghold and a state being one. Many people make the assumption, and it's an erroneous one, I may add, that Atlanta is all of Georgia, and that whatever goes on in Atlanta is basically is a microcosm of all of Georgia. And I think now people are starting to see, well, it seems like that there's people who represent different pockets of the rest of the state that don't necessarily think the same way as ATLians do. And when you have that clash happen, things like this new voter suppression bill that's now law in the state will come to play after seeing what they saw in last year's presidential election, of looking as though the state was red, and then because of how many of the Atlanta suburbs turned out, that the whole state turned blue. It's all wanting to just simply have a foothold on how the process goes. Since you have a Republican governor there in Brian Kemp, that's what you're going to get. And I think we might see more states, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, any of these states that is a bleeding red stronghold. They may look at the playbook that Governor Kemp has put forth in Georgia and implement it in other states.
To further,
no, it's not that they may. They are absolutely doing that.
That's
no,
I don't.
It's strategy. I say that because I think they want to see how the midterms go, and I think when they see the success or failure of it, then we'll see how fast they will actually implement the same thing. That's why I say that. How many
people during the election in November saw a state turn blue as far as president, but when it came to Congress and Senate, we started seeing them vote elsewhere, right? You've seen it in Arizona, I think there was a couple more places, but that's still, we're still talking about the federal level. Mm-hmm. If we're seeing who's being voted for these things on the federal level, the state level is even more so, because most people don't care to even show up and turn out to that because it's not on TV 24/7, or if somebody hasn't made it important enough to you that, hey, maybe you want to think about the people who are actually going to tax you. Maybe you want to talk about the people who are actually going to patrol your neighborhoods or who are actually going to run your cities, because these are the areas where we lose all the time. We don't see the mayoral race as important as the presidential race. We don't.
Well, that's because but you realize this: when you have been oppressed for so long, when so much of the statutes, the laws, legislation has been done without your input. It's been done for so long. There's no sensitivity to it. Right. And all you have to do is consider, do you understand the amount of budgeting that went towards getting the vote out on a national level just to get 75 million people or 78 million to vote for Joe Biden?
Easily billions, easily.
Right. So that was for the presidency.
Right.
Who's got the budget to do that much marketing for local elections?
You know, it used to happen, sir. All it took was a politician connecting with somebody like you, and hey, this is what we got going on. This is who I am. This is what I represent. I'm not saying I do find some flaws when
but here's the point. The point is that there was a time, like when I grew up, you knew who your alderman was.
Right.
You knew who your congressman was because they were in your community. They came to the softball games, to the baseball games, to the basketball games, right? You knew them. You knew their family. You knew all of that kind of stuff. And so there's been such a separation, such a disconnect, right, with politicians and their communities. The only time you hear their name is when it's time to campaign, when it's time to vote.
And that's
right?
my point, sir.
What people don't understand, right, in Clayton County, people don't understand that a state representative from Clayton County, Mike Glanton, voted for the voter suppression stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Clayton County. I'm saying this guy. I mean, it's your voting record is going to show. And my message to the folks in Clayton County in Mike Glanton's district, that's your politician. And he voted.
Why is he so
right?
Oh yeah.
So my I guess what I'm saying is, for other people, the other side don't need the level of campaigning, the level of marketing that it takes.
No, because
they understand the importance of having representation.
Right. All across the board, all the way down.
But this is all I want to say.
He close.
All of y'all people who voted for all these people who voted for what you don't like, start holding people accountable. I know it may be a sensitive issue, but is you stupid? Is you dumb? No, really. You sit back and complain about this stuff, right? We sit back and complain about this stuff, but you don't vote to get them out. You don't look. Okay, you got the okie doke now. Their office is gonna come up again. Is you gonna vote for them? Is you stupid? Is you dumb? Start holding people accountable.
Is holding people's feet to the fire.
Yes, sir. Ephraim said that happened in Clay County. Say it ain't so.
Right.
but
says my wife says Glanton voted against reducing the police budget. Hashtag defund the police.
But it all goes. Oh, go ahead. Oh, but it all goes back to, the reason why many turn off for the presidential elections and some of the senatorial national elections is because of the fame thing, tying back to the Derek Jackson, Lil Nas X, and the son of Kirk Franklin. They're famous enough, but these sheriffs aren't. And to the people who would go out and vote because they're saying, well, wait a minute, the Republicans are just controlling too much stuff in terms of the laws. We got to change it. But they think it's okay. Well, the top guy has to change it. Little did they know the judges and the sheriffs and the city council members and the mayor all have more influence on their lives than the governors and the presidents ever will. But that's not honed in because these candidates aren't famous enough to them, and that is what sucks about that.
Who is Victor Hill, Pastor McCrory? You know Victor Hill,
sheriff of Clayton County.
Sheriff of Clayco, he completely changed the policing. And I'm not saying for the better or for the worse. I'm just saying he changed it. He completely changed the sheriffing culture in Clayton County. Look, when this man got voted into office, let me tell you what he did. He went and got snipers and put them on the roof.
Good Lord.
Everybody who was part of the old regime, he escorted them out of the building and told them they could come back and get their stuff later, or their stuff would be brought to them.
Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill now recruiting for part-time judicial protection officers. Wow.
Wait,
No,
I'm in the wrong state.
wait.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. Clayton street racer told to turn himself in before sundown. My favorite deal now in custody. Wow. This dude. Okay.
I have
Goodness.
Sheriff Victor Hill has an app that keeps anyone who's interested, keeps you informed of every major arrest, when they're looking for someone, the top 10, right? There's an app that they created for Clayton County so that you can make sure you're in the loop of everything that is going on in Clayton County. If you look at my icons here, right here at the bottom in the middle, bottom three,
Yeah.
that is an app for Clayton County, Clayton Sheriff. Okay.
Mhm.
And that if you click on it, you click on this app, and I'm saying Victor Hill has, and you can love him or hate him,
right.
but he keeps you informed of what's going on with the sheriff's office. Okay. I have never, and I don't even live in Clayton County.
Right. And that's why I asked that question. The reason I asked that question is Victor Hill is an example of what accountability, like Pastor said, love him, hate him. Okay, whatever.
Oh,
But
there's
he's
plenty of drama
right on both
around
sides.
Victor Hill.
On both sides, plenty. But he's known.
I'm saying around the man. There's plenty of drama.
Absolutely.
Victor Hill has his issues like anybody else.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's a reason why he keeps winning as sheriff of Clayton County, right?
That's
as crazy as
the main
things are, you don't want to be on the top 10 list of Clayton County. And here's the thing. The Clayton County top 10 wanted list extends nationally.
And what is one of the biggest talking points for the GOP? Police.
Yeah.
See, the only point that I'm trying to make with Victor Hill real quick before we switch gears is we have that authority. People don't understand.
You're right, they don't.
Chiefs, if you're tired of the way stuff happened in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Chicago, or any of those places, you know who you get? The mayor. Why? Because the mayor appoints the police chief.
The police chief. Mm-hmm.
That's an appointed position, which means he has the power to hire and fire. Sheriff, you elect him, then you got to ride that out until next election.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is power is in your hands for these types changes if you realize that your voice and who you are and your vote in your little zone, it actually does matter a whole lot more than it does on the presidential side of things, because this is the stuff that affects you every single day.
But this shows how illiterate most of us are when it comes to civics.
Ephraim had a question for me about
I want to get to that just a second. I just want to do a reset real quick. If you are in here new and you are stumbled upon the Brothers of Legacy broadcast, to my right, is the brother Dwayne Goodson. Down in the corner there, you got brother Cole Johnson in the building, and Pastor Big Mac down here at the bottom, right below me. So we're gonna get to some of these comments. I'm gonna get to Ephraim's question last. So I'm gonna read the comments first, because the question is a loaded question, and I know you got an answer for him. So we'll get to that. Okay. So Sean says, this is for the audio podcast listening folks. This is a Facebook live stream, so yes, of course. But you'll see the comments.
Wow.
Sean Rosen said, phone be buzzing off the chain with Victor Hill. Ephraim said Victor Hill will have a movie out one day. His story is interesting to say the least, good or bad. And Sean says he has the biggest flag in Georgia. LOL at the corner of Terrell Boulevard and 75. And Ashley Collins said, hey, Ashley, by the way, missed you yesterday. I wonder if we have that in our county. So the question that Ephraim posted was to Pastor Brian. He said, where are you at the moment with inviting or accepting politicians into your pulpit?
I've never had a politician in the Solomon's Temple pulpit. It's not mine. It's Solomon's Temple's, but I've never had a politician in the pulpit. I've never invited a politician to the pulpit. I have met and talked with many politicians, have been at their events, but I've never had one speak at Solomon's Temple. I don't have anything against politicians speaking at churches. My personal, Brian McCrory, my personal position with regards to politicians, because I'm not against it. When I talk to politicians, I say to them, if the first time the congregation sees you is campaigning, then they won't see you.
That's a great
If you've never been out to an event, a community facing event to support the outreach ministry at the church or anything like that, it doesn't make sense. You know, if you, I mean, that's just a personal feeling.
That's
because the pulpit is not a podium. It's not a campaign stop. You know, right. It's a place for ministry. It's a place for outreach.
You're right. It should be a segue into knowing those who labor among you. If I ain't never seen you in the field before, if you ain't never had no bag of tomatoes or passing out, you're right, Pastor. You got to know those.
I don't tell people how to vote. So right. if I'm going to have a politician come visit the church, then I may as well have all of them come.
Yeah. Line them up at the front door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
good rule of thumb.
Well, come on now, dog.
Don't do that.
Come on, man.
All right. As it says, did we really talk about the Lil Nas X mess? We did briefly. It was here today, gone tomorrow type of deal. And she says churches shouldn't be used for photo opportunities, just like to Pastor's point. But I do have a question though about this whole with the Georgia law and all that.
Okay.
Please explain to me. And this is what I heard the other day. I read somewhere, I think it was on CNN somewhere, where the lady that got arrested in the town hall, she was knocking on a door and they arrested her and charged her with force.
Governor Kemp's door.
So that was Governor Kemp door that she was knocking on.
Yes.
And this is when he was signing that law into how did they get away with him signing that piece of legislation right under a picture of a plantation in the hall? They took a picture of him. He was signing the legislation. There was a picture of a plantation behind him. How did they get away with that?
Now you grew up in a place in the South where similar tapestry and images happened. I mean, that's just how it is.
But the thing is, they didn't hang that picture up for the signing. That picture hangs there.
Yeah, it's been there for centuries.
Yeah, no, the same way they probably some little restaurant in Waysboro that everybody know who owns it and where it came from.
Yeah,
it's still like there.
Yeah, I guess it's like that. It's crazy though. I mean, we did all that rigmarole last year about removing, these monuments and all that good stuff. When we removed that stuff too,
bro, there's still plantations standing that people own.
They're historical monuments. They're historical landmarks.
Outward gestures are wonderful to see. It still does not erase the fact. Yeah, it still does not erase the fact that this country was established on the soil of our ancestors because of racism. It still does not take that away.
I struggle. When I read that.
But T, why is it? I
know.
understand.
Like
I
I
understand.
said, you were born and grew up in North Carolina. You know.
And North Carolina just
Like I really do understand, bro. I really understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, you've seen it your whole life. It can't be surprising now.
take down a painting won't delete a memory. You're right about that, Ashley. It will not.
Ooh,
100, Ashley.
100.
I like it. I like it.
100 miles and running on that one. That's good stuff.
But to answer your question though, I think in a different tone, Terry, people do it because they can still get away with it.
Yeah.
Just like
Because
baby.
they can. Yeah.
Look with TJ, you had to learn some boundaries. Well, he had to learn some boundaries.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna do whatever you let him do.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's the same sentiment.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of bad memories, Chief Thaddeus Spencer, Wadesboro Police Chief. We ain't forgot. Just so you know, we ain't forgot. Speaking of memories, we ain't forgot. And just because the emotion has died down and the videos have stopped, we still watching. So Officer Lucky is still on suspension. So we're waiting, to see what you're gonna do, bro. So I was saddened by that when I saw it. I know it doesn't change anything. There's a story.
Saddened by what? The picture?
About the picture, yeah. Switching gears though, if we can, with what happened in North Carolina with their 6-year-old little boy. Have you guys heard the story? Have you guys heard the story?
No.
There was a story. This little boy who's 6 years old. 6. Okay. He gets off the bus and he sees a flower, a tulip, to be precise. He picks this tulip out of the garden or whatever. He's 6. The cops came through and arrested this 6-year-old and put him on trial.
What? What state?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
When?
Last week.
And he went to trial.
Now, there isn't.
Boy, y'all worse
It's
than
bad, bro.
A whole lot. Look, because for that to even occur, like in Georgia, it's so hard to arrest a juvenile,
right?
Like and to take him to trial. Like we have a point system,
right?
Like you literally got to hit 21 points, like in a time period before that can happen,
right?
And the term arrest can't even be used with somebody who's considered a minor. That term can't even be attached. So to say arrested and tried a 6-year-old, y'all got some boy. Y'all might be further behind the power curve. Y'all on Mississippi level as far as my head goes.
I mean, it's crazy. Let me see. Hold on. I got it.
Goodness.
Wow.
A 6-year-old.
I mean, South Carolina, we executed the youngest person, but there's nobody 13 since then it's happened to. But
okay, so just so you guys, you can see it in black and white, and you guys, I'm not fibbing on this. This is a 6-year-old boy who plucked a tulip from a lawn at a bus stop,
and in living color.
Recently went to court. Now there was an adult who brutally beat this young lady during their bit off half her face, and they let him off because they said he couldn't stand trial.
No, don't say just beat her. He raped and beat her.
Raped, well, but he couldn't stand trial because he was incompetent to stand trial.
Mentally incompetent.
They have a 6-year-old child in court. They had to get this baby a coloring book to keep his focus.
It just goes to show.
Well, he had no idea what was going on. The boy didn't even know why.
Of course
he was
not.
in there.
Right.
I just read that, but the judge dismissed it. But the problem is,
you still arrest the 6-year-old.
The
That's on his record.
point is that it made it to court.
Mhm.
You know,
That's the point. Exactly right. All right.
It
So
just
Ephraim,
goes to
Ephraim has a question. I want to answer that. I want to get you guys ready to go.
But hey, Terry, you need to reach out to your people in North Carolina and ask why they ain't tear something up for allowing that to happen.
I'm saying I'm not even
Yeah,
sure.
it just goes to show. It just goes to show how horrible
It's
some
crazy.
of these laws are, man. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I had to get up and take my grandsons to school this morning. Their first day of school. They just moved here. Their mother got them
Oh, nice.
registered.
Yeah.
She had a meeting at work, and so
Yeah.
she couldn't take them to school. So I had to get up and take them to school.
Awesome.
So it's the first day. They are
Hey, sorry.
transferring from out of state. I was able to walk my 8-year-old grandson into his school, into elementary school, get him in there, get him to his teacher and everything. The middle school wouldn't even let me in the building.
Word?
First day
Wow.
out of state transfer. And I could, and the only reason I didn't create a stink is because I had to get back home for a call. And so you want, we were talking about with Dr. Rollins' program about engaging Black fathers.
Right.
So I'm a Black grandfather trying to get my grandson in school, and they wouldn't even let me in the building.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I don't know if that would have been the case for anyone going there. I didn't stick around long enough to figure that out. But the point is, if we don't take more responsibility and be more accountable for our children, if you look at the study, I just did that while you were talking about this, Terry, between 2015 and 2018, I think the number was like, I don't know, 40,000 or something, but not 40,000, 15,000 or complaints or arrests made of children between the ages of 6 and 11. Right. And 47% of them were Black. But here's the thing, 40% of them were white. And there was a single digit percent of them that were Hispanic. And what I'm saying is, we as a people, as a community, we have to be more accountable, more visible, more present with our children,
and more loving and tolerant.
Well, when my children were 6, they weren't getting off the bus unless I was standing at the corner. I met them at the bus stop, or my wife met them at the bus stop. Right. What is a 6-year-old doing getting off the bus and there's not an adult there to walk them home? How does that happen? Who is comfortable with their 6-year-old walking home unless you're getting dropped off in front of the house?
Unfortunately, far too many people these days, far too many parents these days.
Right.
Times have changed. Because I remember being a 6-year-old kid who walked home by himself. But you couldn't pay me. But you couldn't pay me now.
It's different. That's what I'm saying. It's
right,
you
absolutely.
used to walk to school. We used to walk to school, man. When I was in, listen, I walked. Like my mom sent us to school in a taxi cab, and I'll never forget. I missed my ride coming home one day, and I had to walk. And my school wasn't around the corner; it was across town, and I had to make my way home. But I did. I remember being in like the 2nd or 3rd grade, and the taxi was in the front of the school, and I was in the back of the school, and it was wintertime in Illinois, and I ran around to the front of the school, and I saw the taxi turn to go to the back of the school. I ran around. I went all the way around chasing the taxi instead of just coming back around the shortcut where I went the first time, and saw the taxi take off and leave. And I'm outside, and there's nobody out there. There's no adults out there. It's freezing cold. My hands are getting cold. My feet are getting cold. I didn't go back to the school. I ended up running across the street to a stranger's house, knocking on the door. And I remembered the number to my mother's job. And the person called my mother's job for me and had somebody come and get me. By the time I got to my mother's job, my hands were frozen. They literally took me in the girls' bathroom at my mother's job and ran the hot water and let the steam come up to try and warm my hands. And I'm talking 2nd grade.
Yeah.
2nd grade. It's a different world
time.
today. You
Different
do
time.
not leave your 6-year-old unattended today at all. Period.
Right.
Facts.
Period.
So comment time. Comments. I got Miss Sayuri in the building. Hey, Miss Smith, how are you? So reading some because Ephraim brought up a question. We're gonna backtrack just a little bit to answer his question. But V asked me if I remember Sheriff Tommy Allen. Yeah, I remember him. He was sheriff for like 45 years or something like that. It was crazy. Ms. Smith said a great reason for taking the kids out of the school system. Another comment she made was, please let us know where they let Buddy out who raped and beat the kids. So that's what we talking about a little while ago, Dwayne. It's better that he is let out. Ms. Smith says, not the laws, it is spiritual warfare, she says. The people in power are demonic. V said, Lord, my mama would have said everything completely off, and she's absolutely right. She would have. Ms. Smith came back, said, if people are criminalizing picking flowers, how is that a parent accountability problem? And so that rolls back to, I kind of wanted to roll back to Ephraim's question, you guys, and he said, you guys are some smart black brothers. Would any of you run for a public office, or is it fight the power?
It's fight the power for me because unfortunately with many of these politicians, they are beholden not just to their constituents, because that sounds so wonderful when they say this, they get on TV and they give you the I'm for the people type of spiel, but there's so many big time interests that are in their pockets. And I mean, most of these politicians, especially if they are national and even state level, and I'd even say mayoral level, they're bought and paid for. No. I would want to aspire to be like a Martin Luther King Jr. type and influence policy change from that realm, rather than be in politics and try to do that there, because it's a dog eat dog system,
right?
No matter the level.
Dwayne,
as far as the politician goes, look, I ain't cut out for politics. Look, unlike look, this is why I say I ain't cut out for politics, because of the way my life is set up. You remember how they went back and President Clinton was like, I didn't have sexual relations with that woman, or the other president, the other former president is like, I didn't inhale. Oh, well, that was Bill too, wasn't it?
That was Bill too. That was Bill. That was
all
Clinton
of those
too.
type situations. See, the way my life is set up, you start talking about pulling my kids, and I couldn't be at a press conference because you're gonna ask me a disrespectful question, and then you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
And I already don't got a good look, because you're gonna want to know, well, when you were 25 and you was in the military, you cheated on your spouse, didn't you? And see, we got a problem.
You got a problem.
So you couldn't be interviewed by Barbara Walters, and she'll ask you,
no, because
Mr. Goodson, how much of a hoe were you, sir?
I was like, that's a dumb question, because if I asked her the same question, she wouldn't appreciate it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I'm here for the let's make some changes, because
so you
I mean, I'm like fight the power. I could be a politician because I don't think I could be bought out. Like, money don't impress me that much. Some people would say, well, it's because you ain't had that much. Well, maybe that is it. But you know what? I've not sold out when I needed it more. Then so that part of it, don't blame me. I think a lot of politicians have the right intent going into it, and I don't think that they're strong enough to handle the environment that people. It's like it's like working for Professor Xavier, and you don't know he's Professor Xavier. That's what most people end up going to politics. They think, oh, I'm gonna be an X-Men. I'm gonna be one of the X-Men.
Oh, yeah, where the white
and Professor Xavier is like
the gladiator.
Fall back, Wolverine. Storm, stop raining. And some of y'all be like, okay, yes, sir.
or be like one of those Jedis and say to Mitch McConnell, you will tell people the population that they don't deserve a minimum wage raise.
Yeah.
Right.
Pastor Brian, you running for office? Would you?
No, I'm not, sir.
Would you?
No, sir.
No, sir. Wouldn't touch it. All right. So sir, he said,
look. Yeah, see, I knew that's all the answer y'all was gonna get for him because y'all don't remember Raphael, do you? He supported Raphael, but he had his opinions about why he thought he should or shouldn't.
Warnock?
He was like, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I remember, Pat. I was listening to you. They weren't listening. I was listening.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Julie Smith said it's still system. She said you can't join them to change anything. And V says, I was wondering if they sold their souls in order for them to get away with so much. They can ride high for a long time, but those souls will be required at any given time.
That is Ted Cruz without a shadow of a doubt.
It is.
That's given right there, V.
It is. Hey, listen, man. And
Wait a minute, but didn't Ted did say he'll believe in global warming when Texas freeze over?
Yeah, that's what
y'all just have a freeze, right?
No. It wasn't him. That was the governor. That was Governor Abbott. Yeah,
Governor Abbott. Okay. And Miss Smith says, that's not your thing.
Mind your business.
Mind the business that pays you.
I love that. Mind yours.
I'll tell you what we'll actually say here. But see, I don't think they see it as selling their souls, and they should. That's exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Smith is agreeing with with V, and says, yes, V, with the long E sound. See, so V. All right, so
she said they don't see the selling it. So can I just comment on that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Shoot, homie.
It's like this. I'm only gonna talk to Dwayne. I ain't putting nobody else's business out there. When I was a cheater, like when I was a cheater, you know what I used to tell myself? Well, if she wouldn't have started an argument and got me out the house and had me pissed off and then don't want to talk to me when I try to apologize,
I never would have cheated.
Then I wouldn't have cheated. That's what a 25-year-old me said.
Yeah.
And you know what? The
30-year-old said that too.
Yes, sir. 25-year-old said it too. And 40. To be honest.
But see, here's the difference, though. Here's the difference.
Shoot.
Before, I believed the hook, line, and sinker. Now, I'm like, we ain't having no punk excuses. You look, you're gonna lose this one too. You done been down there. See, I ain't stupid no more. I'm on. It's real simple. It's real simple.
And see that
when you believe your lies.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that ties into Ashley's comment, and she says even the Joker believed that he was doing the right thing. So that ties right into that. That's absolutely correct. And that's
but in your heart, you know you full of
spiritual warfare part. She says. He said that's that's free will to cheat.
To cheat speaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that whole spiritual warfare. I think people need to recognize that people's sensibility when it comes to faith and warfare has dropped to such a point where the Bible talks about spiritual wickedness in high places.
Yes, sir.
Some folks are fighting demons in the dirt. They're not even in a high place,
right?
Because they have no prayer life. The reality. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to put anybody down.
You ain't.
It is what it is.
We really
you're just telling the cold hard truth.
Yeah. We have to take a real hard look at our battles, because some of us are fighting battles. If it was a chessboard, you're fighting a pawn, and you think you're fighting a rook or a knight. And it's just really sad. It's really sad. I'm in ministry. We have to pray for everything. We have to pray for everybody. Right. But some of the calls, some of the challenges, some of the stresses that I hear from people, I'm like, I want you to come over here into this room while I teach my grandchild. Now I lay me down to sleep. Because for far too many grown folks been in the church but never been in Christ, they're living their spiritual life is now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. The extent of their prayer life is the Our Father, the Lord's Prayer. And the thing is, you're not going to get any power if you never get beyond the outer court.
Come on,
When it
sir.
comes to the Holy of Holies and getting into that place where you can commune with God, there's the outer court, there's the inner court, and then there's the Holy of Holies.
Please.
And some folks are trying to survive, and they're still on the outer court with their prayer life.
Mhm.
You understand?
Come on, sir.
And I say this all the time, that we have to really, really evaluate where we are in the Lord, in Christ. Some folks are saying his name, but they have no covenant relationship with the Lord. You say Jesus with your lips, he says, but your hearts are far from me. Many are they that say, Lord, Lord, but their hearts are far from me. And so we've got to take a real good look at a lot of the things that we're taught. Yes, grown folks still on milk, still suckling. That's the truth. And that's the danger for
Amen to that.
the body of Christ. That there's a greater battle taking place, and there are not enough soldiers operating in that realm. That's the reality. Now, the victory belongs to God regardless. The question is, are you on the winning team? Because the victory is already won, but but that doesn't mean you're on the winning team. You got to get on the winning team.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people are lost because they're being moved by songs. They're being moved by commercialized religion. They're being moved by famous quotes and popular phrases, but there's no spiritual shifting for their walk with the Lord. And you got to get to a place where there is a shift. See, I tell people this all the time. Your relationship with God can't be as good as the last praise and worship song.
Sure can't.
When I listen to Lenny Williams, I want to hold my wife close and kiss, but at some point the song goes off.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So we as the body of Christ, there has to be a change there.
Absolutely.
We talk about politics, we talk about all these things, but if you don't have a listen, the Lord can be on you, but he needs to be in you. In you. So that's the conversation we need to be having.
In other words, Pastor is saying many adults, to borrow Martin Lawrence, breath is smelling like Similac.
Crazy.
That nickel off your tongue.
Because we can see what Pastor is bringing up is something that we can go through for another hour.
Yeah,
and he can bring the choir, the church ushers, and everybody with in another hour. But I
we'll
want to close. I want to close with this. Miss Smith has been in here. She came a little late. I invited her in. I'm glad she came. Hey, Sarah, I'm glad you came through.
She's been spitting some real good knowledge too.
I'm going to end the broadcast on a post that she made about 23 hours ago, according to Facebook. And it says, if you ain't got a close enough relationship with Jesus to cast out the enemy, just say that. Some of y'all letting demons tell y'all what love is.
Right.
Love is correction. Hebrews 12:11.
But I don't have a mic to drop. Oh, man.
So with that, Miss Smith, thank you for closing us out today.
Yes.
Really appreciate you guys for listening and watching and sharing and all that. Thank you, Dwayne, Cole, Pastor Big Mac for coming through like we always do. We'll see you guys on tomorrow morning. Let me pull up my stuff here. I'm going to get out of here. I miss doing this. AD's kind of, yeah. All right, you guys have a good one. Peace.
Yes, sir.
I didn't want to catch that. Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.